Welcome. So in this video, I'm going to talk about if you've spent money on a coach or an agency or some person or company to help you in your business and it didn't work as well as you were told it would or you thought it would, and you're afraid you're going to be shown the same thing or it won't work again if you invest in something and everything around that. Or maybe you're working with someone currently and it's not getting the results you're wanting. These will come out of the same conversation. So the first thing I want to challenge you on is if you are not where you want to be, you invest in the wrong thing, or what you learned isn't valid for what you want to achieve, or in today's market, maybe it's just outdated content. So in any event, you're in a catch-22 because you're a business owner. You can't get your goals you want because you don't have access to what you need and what you need to know. So there's something new that you're going to have to do if you really want to grow. So it's important for you to know that most calls you have with companies will keep everything vague and super high level. They'll say something like, we have this new funnel or this new way we found that works for everyone and it's the easiest thing to do and everyone gets success. And it's just very overly simplistic. That's just because that makes it easy for them to sell because it's what everybody wants. It's the easiest way to results. And that's just human nature to seek the path of least resistance. So they say, it's really easy, it works for everybody, it'll work for you. And that sounds good before the purchase, but as soon as the client buys, reality hits and it sets them up for really failure because their expectations don't match reality. And so that's what I want to talk about today. Think about it. If there were any way that was super easy as they say, that worked for everyone, would it really even need to be marketed in the first place? Would they even need sales calls? No, they just get endless referrals and be billionaires. So what most coaches and agencies will sell you on is called a direct sales process, meaning getting a stranger to buy in the least amount of time possible. And it really looks like this. It's either organic content or outbound to get a lead, have a DM conversation or a one-on-one conversation, and then they have a call and then they have a sale. Or it's paid ads to a video sales letter, like a landing page, to a call, then to a sale. Now, I've really heard these hundreds of times at this stage, and this is what I was sold on when I went through my first $90,000 of investments. So step one, you could sub out organic content and outbound DMs with email, or step two could be like a webinar, or it could be like a DM convo to a call, or it could be like a DM convo. You can think of step one as how do I get traffic? It's either going to be organic or it's going to be paid. And then step two is how do I convert that traffic to a call? And then step three is actually then closing that traffic as a paid client. So I spent that $90,000 on 3 different companies. I spent about $30,000 each, and they tell me you just need to get prospects in and then you just need to book them and then close them as fast as possible and as many as you can. And that by doing this, you'll get to 8 figures a year and all your problems will disappear, right? Wrong. That advice was some of the worst I ever received. And what ended up happening was I spent all my money on coaching and I had to work 80 hours a week. And before I knew it, I was 40K in debt and burning the midnight oil every single day. So most people watching don't have that kind of cash to burn. The only thing that allowed me to do that was I moved back with my parents, I quit my old job, and I was already making money another way. But to get to 50K and 100K months consistently, you need more cash, you need wider margins. So the core thing we need to focus on first is getting the right people in through the ad, and then in front of a video sales letter, and then how to convert on a call. But most of our core focus actually goes into 2 systems called the prospect floodgate, which gets inbound leads, and then the conviction cycle, which warms and nurtures those leads. So these take place just before they actually see the ad, and that way you're not just reliant on ad leads, which cost a lot. And then here, just after your leads hear about you and opt in, and we do things like SMS flows, email flows, remarketing launches, automated DMs, and these all help to convert more of the people in your audience. And it really got me to 30, 50, and 100K per month really consistently. So I went from 0 to 32K in 12 months, and then 32K to 400K within the following 24 months. And so the cause of this growth was simply this kind of system. And so was this easy? No, not at all. But I don't try to sell people on getting some few short wins, fast sales, and getting success easily. I provide a system that works and gets sales both in the short term and then the long term as well. So if someone tells you it's so easy up front, and you're going to have a bad time later, because when it comes down to it, over the 1,600 people I've spoken to on the phone, most people are actually willing to do the work and don't need to be, lied to get into a program. They just need to know how that it will get measurable progress and a return on their investment within reasonable time. The reality is that when someone has this short sales process in place and that's all they have, this is the kicker. They actually have to have this massive skill set and this huge time allotment to growing their business, because the time and skills required to warm up each lead manually and convert them, it's 10 times the skill that most people have in appointment setting and 10 times the skill in sales to close this cold lead within a 60-minute conversation, which is how long most calls actually go for. Most starting out, doing below 100K per year, you're not taking home bags of cash, and those skills are not where they need to be because income level reflects skill level. So how this plays out is you try to use a very skill dependent funnel and it doesn't convert, and you get very frustrated, you waste a lot of money, and you're no better off than when you started. So what we really do is try to concentrate on this combination of these two things and telling you not what you want to hear or what will necessarily just make you feel good, but what you need to hear to get results that way. And so you have to think of it logically through this kind of lens. If I was able to go from 0 to 400K a year in 3 years, what is it that I know that you don't know yet, right? What am I doing to achieve that you're not doing yet? Or how am I thinking that you're not thinking yet? So the same thing is what I ask when I'm working with people that are at 400K a month or 4 million a month. It's where I'm not yet. What are they doing that I'm not doing? How do they think and operate their business that is not what I'm doing? And that's my core focus and purpose when I try and get to the next level. So what I'm telling you is that if this has been the main way that people have taught you to just get traffic in, get them on a call to close them really quickly, then there is a far superior and more reliable way that works much better with the markets of today, which doubles your qualified call rate, doubles your sales, doubles your return on your time and money. And I call them the prospect floodgate and the conviction cycle. So for those that end up working with us, these are two of the core pillars that will help you put to work and get converting. So I hope I've broken it down really well for you to understand in this training. The concern of investing in something again and it not working can be a reason to stop growing, but it can also be a reason to grow, as the next investment could be the one that really is that light bulb moment, brings everything together, and you get that return on all of the marketing dollars that you've spent so far. And for context, only a very small percentage of the investments I've made actually paid off, but I got better at making better investments and I never stopped putting money in, and that's really why it paid off. Enjoy diving into the other videos. Let us know what you thought of them. I'll catch you in the next one.